back to the Imperfect Body Podcast. It's your girl, Ash Marie. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but I am still a little congested. However, God is good. I am feeling so much better, in high spirits after being down for a few days with the cold. So I am super grateful. I am almost back to 100%, and I am so happy that I am not missing an opportunity to connect with you guys. God is good, God is amazing, and we are still on track. So let's get into the topic. Dangers of doing what makes you happy. So if we want to be honest, doing what makes us happy doesn't always land us in the best position. And you know why? It's because you're leaning on your own understanding. Something that we are mandated not to do. In Proverbs chapter 3 verses 5, it says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding." It's the reason why God is telling us that He already know our brains only could compute so much, it only could comprehend to a certain level, and most times we can't see down the road how this very happiness can lead into destruction. Think about it. Most persons that adopt that do whatever makes me happy mentality, they're not stopping to see if their choices are aligned with the will of God. So it's very important for us bodies when we're walking this walk not to fall into this narrative that society is pushing. Our goal and our motive should be doing what aligns us with the will of God. Because if we fall into the narrative that society is pushing, whereas you must do what makes you happy, regardless of what people think or how they feel, what happens when God calls you to do something that is uncomfortable? Because can I tell you, not everything God calls you to do will feel good. Sometimes it evokes fear because you're stepping into uncharted waters, uncertainty because you're not confident this is something that you have not done before. The stretching, the pulling, the molding can be very uncomfortable. So if you adopt the mindset of you're only doing things that make you happy, when God calls you to do something that makes you feel uncomfortable, you will stray away from that. And that's because you're operating in the flesh and off your own knowledge. And I'm not talking about little trivial things like buying a bag or treating yourself to make you happy. I'm talking about big things. And when the world pushes this narrative, they're talking about lifestyle choices, the way they choose to carry themselves, big decisions that could ultimately determine how you spend eternity. So that's what I'm talking about. As bodies, we have to remember once we decide to walk this walk, we are not our own. We were bought with a price, and we are subjected to be used by God in any way He feels like, not what we want to do or what makes us happy. So when society tries to tell us to choose our flesh and do what makes us happy, we have to remember that we are on an assignment to do the will of God and to do what brings honor and glory to Him. And this topic came about because during my preparation stage for my podcast, I often ask God, hey God, what do you want me to talk about? And I'm a social media girly. And more than ever, the do what makes you happy narrative was popping out all over the place. And God dropped in my spirit and He's like, talk about the dangers of the do what makes you happy narrative that's being pushed on social media. Because I don't know if you see it, but they're pushing this narrative where that makes you look like you don't have any morals, you don't have any standards. If it looks crazy to people, as long as it makes you happy, do it. And that is not what God calls us to do. We are here to do His will and to walk in His way and in His light. And this isn't saying that we won't be happy. Our happiness just has to be in alignment with God. Listen, God is our Father. He wants what's best for us more than we want it for ourselves. So when we walk in the will and the way of Him, we get happiness, we get joy, we get abundance, and these things will be long lasting, not temporary. Like when you seek the things of the world and you follow the narrative that society is pushing, don't let society make you feel like you're missing out on anything. When you're God's girl, you are a blessed girly, a happy girly, and a thriving girly. Don't you forget it, baby. And remember, baddies, you are made in the image and likeness of God. Bye.